I've got a little tricky detail around the side of the door frame because both doors in the utility aren't quite the same height. I was hoping I could run it straight over the top of the architrave, round the corner and then over the top of the other door, but it's about an inch higher, so I'm going to have to cut this shelf around the door frame. So just picking up from last week's video and the little bit I filmed at the end of that for this week's video, which was the shelves. So I've not done any more on them shelves. They're still just sat there at the moment. They need painting so I can put them up permanently before I can add to them. I've had a few interesting comments on the last video when I said, should I build shelves or cupboards? So we'll come on to that later in this video. But for now, I've got 3 or 4 things I want to do. So by the end of this video, the mud room, laundry room, however you want to call it, is finished. So the first thing I'm going to do is round the little corner that leads from the door between the garage and the utility to the kitchen. I'm going to just clad the wall and build some mock panelling on that wall. That area's heavily trafficked, not really with items, just with Lynn and I and the 2 dogs in and out, especially when it's wet, and also the Gracie and Bo's food is stored in that area as well. So I'm going to put some panelling on that square wall. I've already been and made a few measurements and put some hieroglyphics on the wall. So I've been shopping this morning and I've got a car full of more parquet floor and some of that 5mm yellow vegetable board. Let's get on and make some cuts at the saw and then some more cuts at the router table, and that'll create the kit that I need to create this panelling. So they're my sizes and that's my plan, that little bit of scribble. There's no SketchUp used on this project. And I bought 2 of these €29 packs. So life's like a box of chocolates. Let's see what we've got in them. I figured for what I needed, the €29 packs would be good enough today. And this has got a knot missing there. So this pack's not quite as good as the previous pack, but to say I pretty much got 2 for 1 by buying this stuff, I'm happy. Right. Okay, so I've got my stock now. I just need to sort them into the frames. So I've got 5 at that size, one of them. On frame 1, I've got base, head, 3 uprights. That can be routed both sides. That wants to be routed one side, that wants to be routed one side. That and that want to be routed one side. That piece can be routed fully, that piece can be routed fully, but on this side here, so I don't have a big hole, I need to router head, base. Bit of a weird grain there, so I'm going to use that. So that and this can be routed, but I need to stop short at the end. And that's the width of my rail. I'm going to cut my rebate for my panel 5mm deep for the panel and 10mm wide. Okay, so that's the components cut out, the router to the correct depth to take the panel. I've put the chamfer on with the hand router rather than the router table because I'm going to have to keep doing it as I fit them, so it's just easier rather than keep breaking the router table down as I cut them to length and then just complete the chamfer around the 4 sides or the 3 sides depending where the components fit. So the next thing I'm going to do is just sort of sand the faces and the edges, and then I'm going to start to cut them to length, fit them piece by piece, drill some 10mm holes, put a screw through, screw them back to the wall. I'm also going to use some liquid nails or equivalent, whatever I've got in my box in the storeroom, and then put some pellets in, 2 base pieces, which are these. I'm just going to jack them up off the floor about 5mm, just so if the floor gets wet, the water's not soaking up these pieces and into the wall. So that took a little bit longer to do than I thought it would. I was thinking 4 or 5 hours, probably nearer 10. First of all, I got a little bit of mission creep and did the third wall. I was just going to do the 2 drywall walls. And secondly, the weather just won't stop raining, so usually I'd just set up outside the front of the house there and take the chop saw around, but I've got my steps in today walking backwards and forwards. Anyway, the wall panelling's done. I just need to cut some plugs down, then I can fill them moulds in, and tomorrow I'll sand it off. It'll be ready for painting. And also, whilst I'm doing that, my little camera's died. I'm hoping the footage inside the utility weren't too dark. I usually take footage inside on this Pocket 3 because it's got a much larger light sensor, so it's better. It's just stopped working, so luckily it's under warranty, so I'll have to send it back. And then the next thing I'm going to do is start to make some nosings, and I want the nosings thicker than the panelling, so I'm going to cut 3 pieces out of that floorboarding. I'm going to cut 3 spaces like I did with the coat hooks, glue them on the back. I can leave them to dry overnight, then almost a slot over the top. Who's done that then? You done that, Bo? Okay, so the nosings are drying. So the next thing I need to do is put this shelf in. This is the shorter end that Lynn has already painted. The other shelf comes in and forms like an L shape. I'm going to put some dominoes in there, to locate the shelf together. And then I can screw that shelf onto the top of this bearer. And then I can rebate the nosings. So the nosings sit over the front edge, project down about 50 millimeters. And then on the bottom edge, I'm just going to shape them again with the angle grinder. And then I'm going to glue and screw them on the front and put some more pellets in to finish them off. And then I just need to work out what I'm going to do to support it. I've got a few little scenarios in my mind. When the shelves up, I'll say how much support it needs to be. We've decided to go for the shelving because Lynn's bought these little fancy storage containers for gloves and scarves and arts and all that kind of thing. So we're going for shelving. Just to look at the panelling, that's the first coat of paint. So the nosings, I've made the 3 nosings go around the top. Okay, so the nosings are ready to go on the top of the panelling. Just let it dry a little bit more, but then I can bed them on, I can screw them in, I can put the timber plugs in, let the glue go off, clean the pellets off and give it its final coat of varnish. Then the panelling's done. I've just rebaited the nosings for there. However, there is a little bit of an issue. The door head there and the door head there's a slightly different height. So there I've got nowhere to fix the end of the shelf. So at the moment I've just clamped it up into its position. And I'm just going to make some little triangular braces to go back to the wall. One there, one in the middle, one there. Make them out of this timber. Paint the two end ones white and the middle one probably grey, and then just put stained nosing on the front, so hopefully they just sort of blend in, and then it'll stiffen all the shelf up. There's nothing stronger than a triangle, unless it's a Dairy Lee one. And then I'm just going to make another one, probably just make it off camera because you guys have seen me do one already, because I've got some material left. I'm going to put a shelf across there. Yes, not you, Bo, ripping gloves, I can hear that. Yes. Right, I think I'll put these nosings on next and then I'll address these triangles later.